Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Coding. In this episode, we're gonna do something pretty simple, just kind of revisit the monad and then the monad iterations thing that I haven't touched much. So it's gonna be an improv. So let's get started. Just start with a circle and use a viewer draw, and by default we get something like this, just a circle. And let's see, maybe I want to kind of generate circles all around this circle, and that's actually pretty easy to do. Just use the matrix apply, the second one, and let's see, this guy goes in there. Yep, let's use the matrix in, and for this guy let's use another circle. Let's plug that in like that, and this goes in there, and we should we should start to get some kind of pattern, and we can control the circles, of course. And so let's save this. This is a monad circle improv, and if you bake this, of course this is like a simple clean geometry. Now from this guy we can actually like do some kind of chaining here, so we can reuse this design and then use another circle to generate like more circle. And I found this kind of interesting in itself, definitely fun to do, but I'm gonna do something slightly different. So instead of doing it that way, like chaining, we're gonna do it inside the monad. So let's see how we do it. So first of all, if we want to have like a clean monad, usually I make sure the input on the left and then the output on the right is actually the same. So I select the one in the middle and monad, create a monad or a group from selected objects. So now we are inside the monad, and sometimes this viewer draw get inside, but if we don't want it, we just want the inputs and the outputs to be the same. So this is kind of a simple example. So now if we go up, we have this just simple monad. Let's call it circle crop or something, and viewer draw. And in this case, I really want to just look at this loop and the loop number. So let's try increasing the number. Oh, okay, we need to turn it on. So 0, 1, 2. This thing can go like pretty big, pretty fast. So be careful with the number. So I think even 3 already started to get pretty heavy. Let me go inside and check it out. Let's see if I can actually play around with this further. There is something that I haven't used, and I don't quite understand how to use this actually. This monad info thing. This gives like the loop index and the loop total, and I'm not sure if I just simply plug that in there, it's gonna do the job. So for example, we get this result now, because my guess is that loop index is like 0, 1, 2, 3, depending on the number that we gave it here for the loop. So see, it stopped at 5. Okay, we can increase it further. Loop maximum, make it 10. I don't know if this is gonna crash Blender or not. Okay, that's maybe quite heavy. Let's say 4, and then I increase this. This is already kind of a interesting pattern that normally you don't easily get this. We kind of get it for free. So this is like the Zelda triangle thing, the link. Let's see, radius. Do we want to control the radius, and then maybe instead of plugging the index there, plug the index into the radius, and let's see what we get. That's somehow we get this kind of design. It's very strange looking. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Just the dots. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. We can use n-gon as well, actually. N-gon and circle are pretty similar. Sometimes we can control the sides in here. So let's say we have like 7 or 6, and let's see. Okay, this is 1, and then 2, and then 3. The radius get increased for every n iterations or every loop. So that's already quite interesting. And let me increase the radius. Now it start to get pretty heavy. My computer still can handle it, but this is can get pretty heavy. So at this point, you see, it's starting to get more like a fractal kind of design. So I don't know. I'm probably not so good with the fractal stuff, but it's more like if you create a function and you put the same function inside it, and you might actually come out with something interesting accidentally. You know, like fractal is more like a, I don't know, like a loop and iterations. You're putting the same function inside the original functions and do it for multiple times until you can't tell the detail anymore. It's I mean, it's gonna get like so detailed that your brain just doesn't care anymore. It just look at it and then, okay, it looks pretty complex. So what's to do with it? Let's see. Okay, this is actually quite interesting. This looks like kind of like a design you will find for like a nighttime lights somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. Don't want to go too far from here. This 3, 4. Let's go inside. Okay, don't have too many here. Let's make it like 5 or something. We can actually plug in the vertices as well and go up, and that's kind of interesting. See, you can actually probably use this pattern for the knitting thing. Yeah, but I think, yeah, I don't want to go too far with it, but it's just like improvisations. Just play around with it. Maybe I'm not used to with this monad and looping stuff yet, but basically there is this number that you can play with, and then maybe you make the circle smaller and smaller for each iterations, and then that's gonna be more interesting. I don't know, maybe I just need to multiply it with a smaller number here, 0.2. So you get all kind of weird design. Maybe I need to rotate this as well to get a better looking design, but this is kind of interesting. 12, increase it more. So I couldn't probably end up, I don't know, I end up with something like this, but yeah, it's more like fractal, but I don't know, this is, I think, very powerful, but it's a bit, you can easily overlook this feature in SquareChalk. But I think if you're good with fractal, please let me know what you think and maybe some examples. I'll be happy to look at it, look at the examples. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for this live coding. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.